What's up YouTube, back here again with another video, and today we're going to do a quick overview and review of my experience of the Protank 4. So I already did the unboxing for this tank and did my initial opinions of it. You can go back on my video list and check that out if you want to see what comes in the box and everything it comes with and what it looks like. And we're going to take a look at this tank and how I've been using it, what I like, what I don't like about it. So first thing, if you notice, here's the stock drip tip. And this drip tip sucks. Okay, I don't like the airflow. I think the airflow in the drip tips are a completely waste of time to even do. Plus, it's got this super scratchy, like brushed plastic, which just holds gunk like it ain't nobody's business. So we get rid of that. And I've been using this smooth, dual O-ringed black Delrin tip in it, and I really like the look of that. So, what I don't like, number one, drip tip. Number two, the rebuildable head. Now, again, I don't have the rebuildable head because I actually lost it. It fell out of a hole in a bag of mine. But I did use that for about, I'd say 4 or 5 tankfuls. I went out with it for about 2 days over a weekend. I used it through the day, through the next day, and I took it out the next. I went to a store and I got more coil heads, so I took it out, put it in my bag, and now I have no clue where it is. So again, if you want to see what that looks like and what's going on with that, go check out my unboxing. But I actually didn't really like the rebuildable head. It was, it's not too bad to build on. It comes pre-built with Clapton coils. I definitely recommend pulling the cotton out and dry burning, cleaning it, because it had a very, very bad taste to start with. I rebuilt it to a more common build that I like. The airflow is just too tight. Like, I'll give you an example. If you take your regular one with your regular ceramic coil head and you turn your airflow down to about there, that's the most airflow you're going to get out of the rebuildable section. And it's just a little too tight for me. It's a little too stiff. It's not very smooth. So, I just wasn't a big fan. The other good thing, on the other side of that is the ceramic 0.5 ohm coil head, Kanthal ceramic coil heads are very, very good. I really, really enjoy them. And the last coil head that I actually bought packs of them and used them was the KANGER sub-tank when it first came out with the original square heads. I really like those, but then I shifted over to rebuildables, and now this tank, and I've had other ones. I've had the Spire, couple of Spires. They were good. Nothing wrong with them. The Milo, again, good, nothing wrong with it. Just wasn't really like outstanding. It didn't keep up or compare to my vape preference, like as a rebuildable, what I could get out of Goblin Mini or a Moonshot or a Bellis. But this tank and the ceramic coil heads, really, really like. I've been able to get about a week off of a coil head, and I've gone through about 6 of them now. This is my 7th one. I've been running this for actually a little over a week, and it's still good. Now, it's not my main vape, so this is like a week. I say a week full. If I used it for a straight week, it would last about a week. I'm into my 2nd week, but I don't use it fully. So, enough of that. Let's take a look at the top. Again, your 510 drip tip hole. You unspin this top piece here, and if you look, you can see a little juice symbol there. Once you see the red O-ring, you can pull this up, and boom, that's where you're going to fill it. Okay, we'll fill this up in a minute. Now, if you go down, and your bottom section here, where your airflow, okay, nice, smooth, adjustable, dual stage airflow there. Untwist this. This is where your ceramic head, as you see here. And if you had your rebuildable base or your mount to lung head, which we'll talk about the mount to lung head after this, you would just screw your different heads or your rebuildable base into here. Just like that. Okay. And then you screw it into your tank. Just like this. And now that's the last time you got to take this guy apart. So it's actually pretty simple. There ain't a whole lot of parts. This comes off, you open the top, and that's how you would rinse it out. So we'll find our juice symbol. We'll open this up. We'll take a unicorn bottle, and we'll stick it in the hole. Now, the one thing I did notice, if you have like the mustard style bottles, they kind of, if it's too big to fit in this hole, it can be a little bit of a pain to fill. But if you have a glass dropper or like a bottle like this, it's super easy to fill this up. So just keep that in mind. You might want to, just get something with a little finer tip. It kind of is what it is for these things. You got the size, you have a size of the hole, that's what you have, and that's just what you got. So we'll just put some juice in here real quick so you get the idea. Okay, now you can fill this all the way up till it gets right up to the top there. Take your couple turns, thread it on, put the drip tip back on. Okay, let me wipe my fingers. I swear, no matter what type of filling system it has, I always end up getting covered in liquid anyway. And we're going to screw it on to this, onto this. Okay, wipe this down. Boom, there we go. So now, if this was a brand new coil head and you were just setting this up, you would want to prime this or let it sit for 10, 15 minutes or so. Now, what you want to do with the ceramic heads is you actually want to break these in slow. You want to lower them down, I'd say, to like 30 watts. Take a couple puffs, get it priming, get it going, get it heated up, and slowly work it up. 38, 39, 42, wherever you need to go. And I like to vape these at about 45 watts. Now, they're 0.5 ohm heads. This one's reading at 0.49, so right on the money. There we go. And we're vaping. Flavor's been very nice. Like I said, I've been using it, and I've been going back to it. Find myself picking it up. I bring it out with me. I go, I go run out. I roll around. It's nice having a, from having all rebuildables. It's been nice having a coil-headed tank. Just, pop it in and boom, run out, and you're ready to go. So, okay. Oh, the one last thing we need to talk about is the mouth to lung coil head. Now, the coil heads alone, I like. We'll just say it like that. I think they provide a good flavor, and if you can get the airflow right, it's a decent coil head. Now, you can actually crank the air up a little bit and give it a little more wattage and still lung the mouth to lung heads. Okay, if you're going to use the mouth to lung head in this tank, I don't think you're gonna like it very much. The mount to lung heads in this tank, I couldn't get the airflow tight enough. It was just too swooshy, not a very good mouth to lung experience. Okay, but you can still crank some wattage to it and fully lung the it's like a restricted lung hit, the mouth to lung coil head. However, what I did do, I just gave it a shot. Okay. I just said, let me throw it in, let me see what happens. So, if you have an original sub-tank, this is an original sub-tank V1, okay, with the single airflow control, just the one airflow hole, and it pops around to, it locks in place. Okay, now what I did was I put it on this big selector, pulled it all the way down to like there. Now we'll take a look. If you see, there's a 1.5 ohm head Canthal, and we're reading 1.72. So I'm going to crank this all the way down to 20 watts. Let's do 18. 18.5. I've actually managed to get a very, very acceptable mouth to lung vape out of this style setup. So again, if you are mouth to lung vapor and you want to use these KANGER coil heads instead of some rebuildable, or you want to upgrade, I would recommend getting a sub tank original and the mouth to lung style coil head. It fits in here, and that's an option if that's something that you're into. So to recap, we'll talk about the pros here. This KANGER Protank 4, okay, 22 millimeter tank. All right, it's looked good on all my devices. I've liked it a lot. It's fired on everything I've used. Pros, it holds a good amount of liquid, between 4 and 5 mils, depending on if you're using the rebuildable base, a little less. If you're using the replaceable coil heads, you're going to get a little more liquid. Top filling, I like the filling system. I like the airflow. It's a very smooth, controllable airflow on the mouth to lung. On the direct to lung side. Giving you the rebuildable base and the replaceable cooler heads all in one kit. That's a huge pro. KANGER's always been very good in that, giving you a lot of options in one box. All right, and it just vapes really well. The ceramic coil heads, I think, are a win. They vape well. They're a Kanthal material, so they just work well on all the devices. If they've been sitting for a little while, they have a little bit of ramp up, but once you get them cooking, I've really liked it. Flavor's been very good. Airflow in the heads are good. Enough said about that. For cons, we'll say the mouth to lung system I don't think is very good at all. The airflow control from mouth to lung, I don't think it's quite there. They need to maybe tighten up the coil head, or I don't know, do something different, because it's not quite there. And it doesn't really stick to the Protank name is when they originated as, a mouth to lung tank. I was a super big Protank fan back then. I had Protank 1s and Protank 2s, and I used to rebuild those little coil heads. I used to have like 20 of them, and I would use them and then rebuild 10, use them, rebuild 10. It was like, and I used them for a really long time. DNA 20 or a DNA 12 with a Protank or Protank 2. I was absolutely loving those for a while. So I guess that pretty much covers it. It's a good tank if you want to grab it. Again, I bought this at another shop down, and if you've seen my older videos, I got it when I was down the shore for a weekend. I just popped in a store and they had it, so I bought it. I will also include a link to a website somewhere where you can go check it out and see what it cost. I paid $40 from the shop. It's probably going to be a little more than you can pay online, but I'll put a link where you can find it. And yeah, thanks for coming by and watching my videos. I got more stuff coming up. We got unboxings, and then I'll use it for a while and talk about my experience with it. That's how we're gonna do. That's how we're gonna do it going forward. And thanks for watching. And please subscribe, like, comment below. Do what you got to do, and I'll see you on the next video.